Alright, let's continue playing the Outer Worlds because it's awesome. Okay, fine, I'll just wait. Okay. So where were we? Let's see. Great. Shrink ray. Okay. So what was I doing? Oh my god. I found out something really cool since the last time I played this game, and that is you can change locations and regions. Oh my god. That is fantastic. I can't believe we have not been doing this. Okay, so Sam is for intimidation. She's medical. I don't want her. Felix is persuasion. Don't care about that either. So we're gonna take Parvati. For engineering. And I believe Vicar Max. Let's see here. Persuade. Medical. Parvati is engineering. Vicar Max is hacking, I believe. Yeah. I think engineering is better. What does engineering do? Drug addiction withdrawal. God damn it. Repair equipment. Maybe hacking is better then. Yeah, let's take Vicar Max. Max and Sam. Heck yeah. Sam and Max. Max and Sam.
Estimated cleaning time. 59.11 minutes.
This is an unmanned station, right?
Robots. Robots. What? Oh, I have drug withdrawal. There you go. I need to get my lock picking up.
Impressive, as always.
Yeah, my character is addicted to vaping. Laugh all you want. I don't know what that did. Security onto mechanical manual. The instruction printed on this manual has been converted by mostly illegible scrawls. Entire paragraphs are crossed out with frantic lines of dark ink. In some places, the pages are torn through from the force of whoever wielded the pen. One section describing the correct procedure for setting automechanicals on a proper charging schedule is mostly untouched. Random letters within the text are circled as though the owners were trying to discover some message hidden within. Well, I already did that by hacking, so not that good anymore. Phrase journal, a beautiful dream. Last night I dreamed and it was beautiful. The streets of Byzantium were decorated with crimson streamers that laughed in the breeze. They asked me to take them, to give them to my special ones. I gathered the crimson in my arms and felt so alive, so happy. I turned, and Delilah, was beside me. I did not question why my supervisor was there. Her eyes so full of emotions I know she feels, but dares not show at work. I wrapped her neck in crimson, tying it tight as a scarf on a cold day. So beautiful. Then the crimson on her neck opened as a second mouth and began screaming. When I woke, I was scared. The dreams are so real now, and this time I recognize the face. I had to leave work early today. Every time I look at Delilah, I hear a whisper in my mind about how beautiful she would look with a touch of crimson on her neck. Her neck. This must stop. This is not who I am. This is not who I will become. I must find help. Space sickness. Yeah. It happens. Bard. Okay. Are they back in their charging cycle now? Yes, they are. Rude. What gun am I using? What is that? Light machine gun Mark II. Oh. Okay, can't break those.
Muting volume now.
Adreno. Tactical shotgun, not a Mark II. Ow.
Nice hit! And sanitize. This area has been sanitized.
Phrase journal, escape. I had to start a new journal. I cannot read my previous entries without the whispers tempting me. The whispers do not stop. Every person I see, the whispers tell me to help them. They show me the pain and longing hiding inside their eyes. They tell me how these people need the gifts I can give. All it would take is a few moments with a blade, a bright fountain of crimson to delight the eyes, and all their pain would be gone. I could do it. I know how to help them. It gets harder and harder to stop myself. I saw a friend today, an old friend from school who is now a doctor for Auntie Cleo. I know him in my dreams. Nothing outright. Oh no, I'm not so foolish as that. I told him it was an old book I found and described my dreams and whispers as happenings to another character in the book. I asked him how he'd helped this character. He looked at me, and he knew. The whispers told me to end his pain, that he'd tell. I got up and left quickly. I did not hurt him. Not. I have to leave Byzantium. He will tell. They'll come for me and lock me away. I must find a secret place. A place I can be alone. A place with no whispers. Girl gone crazy.
We've got a fight on our hands.
Job classification. Flawlessly finished.
Oh, it drains ammo even if I'm not like actually targeting anything. Interesting. Let's see where this goes. Now, why would I be able to jump up here? Huh. Curious. Phrase journal, the source. The whispers. The whispers have a source, and I found it. Found it! I have taken refuge in an orbital relay station. It is smaller than a worker's hovel, barely a few thousand square meters, but sufficient for my needs. I was able to flee Byzantium with enough bits to purchase supplies to last for decades. It was strange being among common people on the Groundbreaker. The whispers barely stirred at the sight of their ill-fed, scarred, and unwashed bodies. If only there were fewer freighters docking here. Bringing real people from Byzantium, I could almost have made a home free of temptation. Free! As I made this place livable, or as much as it can be, I started hearing the whispers from the relay terminal. They told me to listen to the voices traveling through the ether to reach me, calling out to help them, alone, lonely, needing my help. I found a way to power down the transmitter. No more voices in the ether, no more whispers. They fell silent. This was not me. It's not. I am not this foul thing that I have feared for so long. It was the voice in the ether trying to make me hurt others. But I was stronger than they. I have defeated them. Them. I have already begun making plans to return to my home. Now that the whispers are defeated, I can resume my life again. I can't wait to return. I miss my family and co-workers so much. Especially Delilah. Okay then. Great joy. Excuse me. Because that's mine? Okay.
Easy.
That was a lot of items in that box. Nothing? Nothing? How dare you?
There, on the job. Good news, customer. All one order of
Bam.
chicken fan coming up.
They shouldn't have stood in our way.
I agree, it shouldn't have stood in our way.
I've had quite enough of you! Nice hit!
Pollutant purified.
Wow, it's a really good thing I have a lot of picks.
Nicely done.
Ow.
Securing body bag for use.
Phrase journal, forgive me. I was so wrong. 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 The whispers did not stop. Not. They have returned. They howl at me, demanding I return home and bathe the streets in crimson, bright crimson, beautiful crimson. I can only think, only one way to end this. End. Forgive me, Delilah.
Smells like old blood.
Well, at least she didn't kill anyone else.
Here we go.
Unit performance evaluation.
Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Nice hit.
All right. That's it. That was a cute little side quest.
Huh? Oh, I am alert and awake. Not to worry. I take our ship's security highly seriously.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Okay. Oh no, it doesn't stay in region and oh, that's dumb. Wait, shouldn't this be in Monarch? That's strange. Oh, revolver. Too bad I hate that weapon. Silencer. Will bleed out your enemies in nearly perfect silence. Jesus. Okay. Selling it. 29. Don't need it. just install it. Plasma or shock? Nah, just install regular. More magazine. Yeah. Let's use this weapon from now on. I need to use some of these.
Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
I think Max is too good of a companion.
My comm center already got an update ping from the backup relay. I trust everything went smoothly.
Yep.
Thanks. That's odd. The only messages in the queue are encrypted ones. Looking at the transmission logs, the relay hasn't received a single unencrypted message in the past 36 months. Must be on account of some new security red tape. Well, whatever's the cause, the board and the Earth Minister will see it sorted. Thanks again for saving my derriere. I secured quite the payment authorization for you from Chief Junlei. Try not to spend it all in one place.
Thank you.
Routing through the backup relay has saved us a mess of trouble. Thanks to you, the auxiliary will handle the signal load when the primary's caught in the occlusion.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Anyone else? Engineer. You have a name.
Temps are lowering across the station. Anyone outside is getting a hell of a light show from the droplet arrays. Thanks for the help. Let me know if you ever need to borrow a wrench or something.
Suppose it's time to reevaluate my career goals.
Curses. Okay. Now, quest journal. Search for clues. A monarch. Stellar Bay. I can't go to Stellar Bay or Monarch. I mean, I can go to Monarch, but not Stellar Bay. That's also on Monarch. Stellar Bay. Monarch. Alright, Monarch and Stellar
Take a
Bay.
bit more strays while you were out. I suppose if the crew's quarters fill up, we could hang hammocks in the cargo hold.
Okay, so that's Gilia. We don't want to go there. Can't go to Typhon. Hephaestus, we already went there. Okay, so Monarch is the only one. Cascadia. Oh, there's Stellar Bay. Yeah, let's go to Stellar Bay before we head to the dangerous one. I think that's the main mission.
We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
Yep, Stellar Bay. Alright, let's go. We are good. Let's take... Yeah. No, let's take Pravati. I think she does reduce the cost of hacking. I mean, not hacking. Lockpicking. And hacking is used so much less. So... I will search everywhere for all the loots. Whoa, that looks cool. Oh, hi.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in.
God, why do you have to stand there? You do know I can just ignore you and go this way, right? Let me save first, just in case. Oh, it's a dead end back here. Okay. Let's talk, my dude.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Well, that is my ship on the landing pad next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
Take more than a few gunships to scare me.
Wish more folk could say that. Gets awful quiet guarding a landing pad that never gets used. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-world traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Me? I'm Alex Hawthorne.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Is Stellar Bay really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
You're not what I expected to find on Monarch.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Are you saying that the board has been lying about this place?
Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
I'm gonna have to look around.
Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
That depends. What is it?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Who's the Black Hole?
That's Bertie Holcomb. Only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something?
Actually, I've been in hibernation for decades.
Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on in the rest of Stellar Bay.
This poster sounds pretty valuable.
I couldn't really say. I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now.
Sure, I can do it.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her. Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in.
You really are a little too persistent about this.
Sorry, I just get so excited, and I always feel like I miss everything that happens in town while I'm up here.
Alright, bye. Bastard. Turn around. He's so rude. He won't let me loot. Good God, 4K? Alright then. $46. Why is the light armor so bad? Stealth skills, dodge, science. So stealth and science, or I can get dodge and science if I want to switch to light armor. Wow. Their weapons improved, but their armor still suck ass.
It's not the best choice.
Spacer's choice sucks. N-ray protection. Science +3. So science +3. Alright.
You hold it. What do you think you're doing?
What I want?
I don't have time for this. Move along.
You are so rude. Why are you covering each other's backs? You're not supposed to do that.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here.
Hey, Bennett.
Laws. Can't a man enjoy the smooth menthol flavor of a Stogie Slim in peace?
You got a lot of brass for a man doing absolutely nothing.
What I am doing, ma'am, is enjoying the moment. It's so rare that I can seize one apart from the jabbering masses of this wretched place.
That's a lot of big words.
I recall when Stellar Bay was a proper board-affiliated town with regular shipments of Auntie Cleo's best and all the cereals. Before Sanjar took over MSI and got us all booted.
But now you're all free for the board.
Yes, free to wallow in squalor together. Free to squabble with the iconoclasts over a raptidon-infested hellhole. Look, you're making me melancholy. Is there something you wanted?
Oh, Nyoka. Hi.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Thanks.
Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
How well do you know Nyoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
You said you're not used to seeing new faces around here?
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the iconoclasts or some such.
Why is this place called the Yacht Club?
Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay?
Nope. But a man can dream. Thought it had...
You might think about fixing up that sad-looking sign outside.
Don't be so negative. It's what's on the inside that counts. Speaking of, you look like you could use a bottle with something good in it. Not since...
What happened in Amber Heights?
Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though.
Let's see what you have. Don't want to buy anything. Hi, Nyoka.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you?
Who are you?
Name's Nyoka. I'm the best big game hunter on the planet.
You're also the loudest big game hunter on the planet. And the drunkest.
Shut the Fair point. I deserve it, though. On account of being the best.
My dad always kept his firearms and liquors in different lockers. Said it wasn't safe to mix them.
Out here, if you ain't a little buzzed, you're liable to notice the stench of life. The grit in the air. The dust in every drink and the blood on every boot.
It's nice to meet you, Nyoka. I'm Ruby.
Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you?
Sure. Whenever around, bartender.
Outstanding. What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger?
Just seeing what it's like for myself. People talk it up like it's a shithole.
It is a shithole. It's a free shithole, though. Plenty of ways to blaze your own trail. Folks seem to like that. Besides, the booze is good. Something about that fish oil. Cheers.
Cheers. Listen, I'm told you can help me find an information broker.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You'll have to get me something to clear my head.
Sure, what do you need?
Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
You mean caffeinoid? That stuff is stimulant.
Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
You won't find a better deal in Halcyon than our special one-time offer for a refurbished sanitation unit. Remember, if it's dirty, it's a job for Sam.
What in the... That thing talks?
Oh, that's Sam. He's she? It helps me stay clean. Anyways, I'll get those meds.
You trying to get us all in trouble? What do you think you're doing?
Fuck off.
I don't have time for this.
Entering quiet mode.
Hey, I saw that! What do you think you're doing?
What I want?
Do what you want, I guess.
I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same tossball game?
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to a word, are you?
Look, my back aches and everything smells like fish. I just want to enjoy my beer.
I saw that.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm about to kill every motherfucker here.
Do what you want, I guess.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Non?
Just make sure. Sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
What's that exchange about? You having money trouble?
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
It must be expensive.
20 bottles worth adds up, that's for sure. You'd think Sebastian would give me a discount as much as I buy from him.
He should give you free bags at least.
Oh, I don't mind. I usually buy things one at a time. Gives me more chances to talk to him.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Just ask him on a date.
I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you ask. Oh,
Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Wait, I'm curious. What do you see in Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Kind of like you, actually. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
You really want to be with someone you can't talk to?
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
There's other fish in the sea, Celia.
Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up.
That's all I need to know.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
I guess I'll wait till you're done with your meeting then.
And a sense of humor, too. Did you hear that, Celia?
I heard it, sir.
But I'm sure you didn't come here to trade witticisms, No, you're here for business.
Oh, me? I'm on my own path, going where the wind takes me.
What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Not outside Tartarus prison, anyway. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for Saltuna.
If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this brat-fucked colony, I'm going to stab someone.
Yes, that's it. Channel your anger. I only wish I could do the same.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
If you're free of the other corporations, why do you want them back?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Sounds like you're freer than anyone in Halcyon. Why not embrace it?
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
That's a coward's answer.
I have people to look after. I need to be practical.
That's why Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach. And the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
How long did it take you to figure that you need to defend your city?
Not long, but the devil is always in the details. And the salient detail here is a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
This Bolt 52 sounds youthful. What is it?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Once you have the Bolt 52, what's the other part of your plan?
I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Arms. You're saying arms instead of arms.
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
I'm sure I'll know it when I find it.
Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Before I go, I need to ask you something.
What can I do for you?
I have a question about MSI in the good old days.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you... This is why you can't trust the corporation and their so-called laws.
It's true, the board has treated us unfairly, but I'd always envisioned that things could be different. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1.
Terra 1 and Terra 2? I see the board put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward-thinking of you.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right because it's the right thing to do.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Who's this us and we you keep talking about?
Oh, well, there were surely other junior executives with more open minds, though none of them had the temperament to handle the paperwork.
What are you talking about? You're being cagey.
But I was keeping my tone flat and maintaining eye contact. You weren't supposed to notice I was avoiding the subject.
This is why you've never been good with presentations, sir.
Very well. Many, many years ago, Graham Bryant and I used to be collaborators of sorts.
So he helped you make the case for your senior executive?
Indeed, for all the good it did. MSI's then leadership wasn't enthusiastic. They insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
I hope you gave him the finger.
In a manner of speaking, many of us stayed behind in an act of quiet but firm defiance. As the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
But why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Why exactly do you want back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon. To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
They treated you pretty roughly. Is it worth going back to that?
I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Good for you. Force them to the bargaining table.
I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And I don't mean to leave MSI or its people at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
What's the hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments.
And they've invoked it on Monarch?
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
So you used to work for Graham. Why not mention that earlier?
As far as I'm concerned, the less said about Graham, the better. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. And we both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely.
Okay.
What can I do for you?
I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I'm looking for an information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate.
How do I get there?
You'd head south along the road and look for a mountain to the west. Not that I'd advise it. It's a terribly dangerous trek. But if you insist on going, I'd recommend taking a local guide. Nyoka would be a prime candidate.
If you can keep her sober.
Bye. Productivity has continued to improve since relaxing MSI old restriction and allowance for employees benefits such as time off for illness and personal leave, 24.9% reduction is in shift length, and 52.3% more positive feedback. Fishery output is up 15% this year, showing a continuing but slowing growth trend. Decreased gains compared to previous year are likely due to the deterioration of material and morale, occasional shortfalls in our supplies, and the gradual loss of personnel to marauders, 7.2%, hostile wildlife 10.3%, and ion class recruitment 17.4%. Reconciliation with the board remains a long-term goal, but the immediate concern is defending the city from hostile elements. Repairing damages to the city wall consume approximately 32.8% of our annual budget. The best solution would be an influx of skilled defenders and weaponry, but given the aforementioned factors and their effects on the local population, such a solution remains unlikely. Our profit margin are stellar. 43.28 more nutrient dense than the leading brands. A tolerance center of commerce is a hostile and chaotic galaxy.